The governor of the great state of Texas, Greg Abbott. Governor, by all accounts, everything that I have seen, you have amazing people in your state. You were prepared on the state level. We have some problems with some local people. It seems like your coordination with the federal government and the president couldn't have gone better. But I want to hear from you. Is it as good as I saw it? We learned a lot from Katrina.
I got to tell you, the coordination at the federal, state, and local level has been as good as in any tragedy that we've ever seen in the United States. As you know, I spent the day with the president, but today was not the first day that I've talked to him about this storm. Our talks began before the hurricane even hit Texas. From the White House to his cabinet to FEMA to all of his leaders, we had planned and prepared for this days before the hurricane even came. And then we mustered up and arrayed resources and personnel and food and water and shelter all across the affected area. And this has been done because the president took action swiftly, early, coordinated with the state of Texas in a way far superior than I've ever seen in a hurricane tragedy.
And look at where the media goes, and they're worried about shoes. By my estimation, Governor,
I want you to know, Sean, Texans are genuinely appreciative of the way the federal government and the president have stood up and addressed the needs of our Texans. We are suffering here in the state of Texas, and what the president is doing is helping Texans.
You know, by my observations, Governor, the costs are incalculable in terms of the damage. And I would assume that the biggest challenges you have now, people are going to be homeless for a long period of time. In many, many cases, entire neighborhoods are going to have to be rebuilt. When it comes to the immediate need of food, water, shelter, medicine, cots, blankets, my friend at My Pillow, I know, is donating like tens of thousands of pillows, but baby formula, all of these things. Will you be able to immediately take care of the needs of all those people? Because that's a huge undertaking, sir.
Well, you talk about immediate. There's immediate and then there's long term, and we need to address both. On the immediate side, I got to tell you, you mentioned one person who is stepping up with donations. I got to tell you, I want to express my gratitude to our fellow Americans across the entire country by flowing in donations to us. We appreciate it so much. It makes such a big difference in the lives of these people who desperately need it at this time. But through those donations and through the supplies that we have built up, we will be able to address the immediate needs of the people who are in shelter. But, Sean, the big challenge is going to occur when the water recedes and when the short-term shelter is over and we begin the long-time build-out process. And here, the FEMA administrator has been very clear. This is not going to be a short-term experience. It's going to be very long-term. We all must continue to work effectively together if we are going to build that pathway for the future of all these people who have been affected by this storm.
But, Governor, would that mean that you have the plans, the immediate plans in place? I assume medicine's a big deal. Dialysis is a big deal for some people. Food, baby formula, cots, blankets, pillows, all of these things are immediate. But you know, I would assume they're going to be in these shelters a long time before you can begin the process of giving them at least temporary housing before the rebuild begins, right?
Well, as I spoke with the FEMA administrator today, we want to make that evacuation center time as short as possible. We were strategizing today about how we can expedite the movement from the evacuation centers to short-term living, because the evacuation centers, we don't intend to last very long at all. So we're working to expedite this in ways different from what you've seen in past hurricanes.
What would that be, Governor?
Well, there are different short-term housing proposals that are offered up by FEMA. It could be things ranging from apartments to hotels, different types of locations, dormitories, but something different than like an auditorium or where the Rockets play or where the football team may play. We've got to get people out of gyms into genuine living rooms and bedrooms.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because I remember after Katrina, Houston did open up, the families of Houston opened up their homes to many of the victims of Katrina.
Tens of thousands.
Why didn't the mayor of Houston, sir, take your call? How many times did you call him?
Well, I called several, but listen, he and I have spoken, and I want you to know that we've spoken and we are working collaboratively and on a daily basis. My office is communicating with his office because we know that we are all in this together, and we as Texans are going to work together to address these challenges.
Governor, I personally, I've worked with Samaritan's Purse. I send them a donation because I know how good Franklin Graham's organization is. I know you have the Red Cross. For those people around the country that want to help our family in Texas, what would you like them to do?
Well, give to Samaritan's Purse, give to the Red Cross. We will be announcing something myself tomorrow about what the state of Texas is doing. You could stay tuned tomorrow and follow that and donate to that. But there's so many different ways that people can participate, and it's the generosity, the support, the patriotism of our fellow Americans that are making a big difference in these lives of people who've had their lives turned upside down.
Governor, you made a big difference, and I understand Texas even has a $10 billion rainy, no pun intended, rainy day fund, which I think is almost equal to the rest of every other state in the union. That money's going to come in very handy. Our thoughts and prayers are with you, Governor. You did a phenomenal job in your hour, in that state's hour of need. You, the Lieutenant Governor, federal government, local officials, and the people of Texas really deserve our praise. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sean.